What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. Let's get into this conversation. I want to share this story. It comes from Blavity News, and it's about Cardi B and her consistent, albeit pursuit of trying to get this almost $4 million judgment settled that she won in court against Tasha K. Now, we know that the news reported, and Tasha K even mentioned, that she has since filed for bankruptcy protection. And what bankruptcy protection is, and there are different methods of it. There's different chapters, I should say, that are for different reasons. I don't recall which chapter Tasha K has filed, but essentially, we know bankruptcy, the word protection is the word that comes ultimately after the word bankruptcy. Yes, if someone loses a case in court and it's for a large amount, most people file, even companies will file appeals. You hear about it all the time. You may have heard the stories about someone that won a lawsuit against Walmart, and the jury found that they were held liable and they will award compensatory and punitive damages. And a lot of times the companies, they will go back and file an appeal for the amount. Not so much that they were not liable. And you can Google them. I'm not going to go and pull up all those stories, but just knowing a lot of situations that has happened like that in the past where I have heard the news of it, as well as formerly being in the legal field for 12 years, many years ago. It hasn't been yesterday. But indeed, sometimes they will file an appeal based on the amount, not so much on them being held liable. And I don't know who Tasha K's attorneys were, but I often wonder why they didn't go back and file an appeal for the amount. Not so much the facts of the case, because a lot of times it really is hard to overturn I hate to call it conviction, because you usually hear conviction in criminal court more so than in civil, and this was a civil matter, not criminal. So that's sometimes when I hear people talk about, well, she's going to get locked up if she doesn't pay this money. That's highly, highly, highly unlikely, okay? It really is. And the courts didn't say that Tasha K couldn't still do her job, which is being a gossip blogger. So she is going to talk about people. And sometimes that might have to do with Cardi B or somebody that is connected to Cardi B. They didn't rule that she cannot talk about those situations, which is what her job is. Albeit some people feel that it's messy and they don't like it, but that's your prerogative. I often wonder why they didn't go back and file an appeal on the amounts, because in my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest, I felt that the judgment was an uncollectible judgment. I wasn't sitting here and counting Tasha K's pockets, or LaTasha Kibi, which is who she sued. But I did not feel that Tasha K was broke, but I definitely didn't feel that she was in a position to be able to pay that sum of money. That's a lot of money. And yeah, Tasha K may have over 1 million followers, but we already know that the number of followers does not equal the amount of money when it comes to financial support and how much money you earn. I mean, you've seen celebrities on social media, like, just giving an example, Chris Brown. I remember one time he did an album release, and he was pissed off because of the sales that he got, or streams, or both, in connection to the amount of followers that he had. And he felt so upset that all of these followers, or most of them, did not support him, albeit financially, because it's like, well, I have millions of followers. Why did I only get 10,000 streams or sales? Because followers don't equal money. Because honestly, if everyone that supported and followed Tasha K donated $2, or 4, she would have the money to pay Cardi B. But is everyone going to do that? No, because we know that not everyone that follows people actually likes them. So I felt that the judgment, the amount should have been appealed. Not so much the facts of the case. I'm not saying that she didn't have a right to feel that the judgment was unfair and that she shouldn't have lost in court. A lot of people feel that way. And so she had definitely the right to feel that way. But I feel that if she did an appeal on the amount of the judgment, saying that it was too high, because my God, Walmart does that. You can Google it. There are many situations where they go back and they file an appeal on the amount of the judgment. And a lot of times you will hear stories about someone that won this much in a court case against a company and the judgments get lowered. I don't know why they did not lower this amount. I really don't feel that the amount is fair. So all of the people that feel like Tasha K needs to pay Cardi B her money, that amount is absolutely insane. Because compensatory is based on what a company or a person or persons have lost. Cardi B hasn't lost anything in terms of what Tasha K said about her. I'm not saying that what she said is right. I'm not even sitting here trying to defend what was said. And initially what was said by someone that she had on her platform interviewing her, and she said those things at first. I believe that person got sued and she just didn't even respond and probably just got a default judgment against her for far less than what Tasha K got. So that situation was crazy, but the amount should have been appealed. And it's possible that if she had appealed the amount, they would have lowered it based on what she had presented, and it probably could have prevented her from having to go and file for bankruptcy protection. So the word protection comes after bankruptcy because it is a means to protect you, to cover you, so that you don't ultimately lose it all based on one or a few creditors. Because at this point in time, Cardi B is one of her creditors. And I believe she was doing fine before this situation. So sometimes it just shakes out that way. And you just have to deal with it, and you have to do what you have to do. And people and companies file for bankruptcy all the time. It's protection. It's to cover and protect you, because it's not just you, it's other people. And for those people that say, well, she should have thought about that before she said what she said about Cardi B. Well, look, what's done is done. So the amount should have been appealed. And my question is, how much is Cardi B spending still trying to pursue all of this money? Because even after Tasha K has filed for bankruptcy protection, her attorneys have put subpoenas out there for her husband trying to get this money. And I know that Cardi B, yeah, she may want her money and she may be calling the firm and saying, look, I want my money, do what you got to do. But Cardi B doesn't know anything about trying to pursue a spouse or all those different things like that. I don't know. I don't legally know. I will say I don't legally know if they are able to take anything from her husband. When Cardi B did not sue her husband, she sued Tasha K and I believe the company. And I don't know if the company and the husband are connected, I should say. If they are, you let me know in the comment section, because I really don't know. I don't want to say what is when I don't know for a fact that it is. But anyway, this story comes from Blavity, and it says, when it comes to her money, Cardi B is not letting up on Tasha K. The rapper took another step to retrieve the massive $4 million payout she was ordered to receive. Cardi B recently subpoenaed the blogger's husband to list his financial assets. According to Hip Hop DX, the money rapper issued a subpoena Deuces Tecum on the blogger's husband, Shekne Kibi, on June 18th. By filing the subpoena Deuces Tecum, Cardi B can review every asset the couple has in their name. The outlet added Cardi B will review the written documents during a video-recorded examination on August 7th in Miami. The documentation will be entered as part of Tasha K's bankruptcy filing, which was filed in May. The examination may continue from day to day until completed. If the examinee receives this notice less than 14 days prior to the scheduled examination date, the examination will be rescheduled upon timely request to a mutually agreeable time. In June, the Unwind with Tasha K host filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The filing brought her some time as the court ordered the rapper to halt the pursuit of her coins. Cardi was one of 30 debtors notified of Tasha's filing. Reportedly, the IRS, the Broward County Tax Collector, the Florida Department of Revenue, and Bank of America were also notified of the bankruptcy filing. The documentation stated that all collection efforts by all parties must be halted as of June 2nd, while the courts assess Tasha K's finances. The U.S. courts frequently refer to Chapter 11 filings as reorganization bankruptcy. Okay, so that's the chapter that she filed for. It's not that she's trying to wipe all of the debts away. It's just a reorganization, trying to make it so that she can live and be able to pay towards things and possibly lower the amounts of overall the debts that she owes. So it says it indicates the debtor remains in possession, has the powers and duties of a trustee, may continue to operate its business, and may borrow new money with the court's approval. The filing of the case imposed an automatic stay against most collection activities. This means that creditors generally may not take action to collect debts from the debtors or the debtor's property. For example, while the stay is in effect, creditors cannot sue, garnish wages, assert a deficiency, repossess property, or otherwise try to collect from the debtors. Creditors cannot demand repayment from debtors by mail, phone, or otherwise. Creditors who violate the stay can be required to pay actual and punitive damages and attorney's fees. Under certain circumstances, the stay may be limited to 30 days or not exist at all, although debtors can ask the court to extend or oppose a stay. Hip Hop DX added Cardi's subpoena doesn't violate that order because it was issued according to Federal Bankruptcy Rule 2004. According to the Cornell University School of Law, the Federal Bankruptcy Rule 2000 states the examination of an entity under this rule or of the debtor under Section 343 of the Code may relate only to the acts, conduct, or property, or to the liabilities and financial condition of the debtor, or to any matter which may affect the administration of the debtor's estate, or to the debtor's right to a discharge. Blavity previously reported that Cardi B sued Tasha K in 2019 over videos she published about her. Cardi B's lawyers claim Tasha was on a malicious campaign to tarnish the rapper's reputation. The Grammy winner's legal team warned the blogger to remove the videos, but she did not comply with their wishes. After losing the initial court battle, Tasha K filed an appeal that resulted in another loss. Tasha has pulled several tricks to get out of paying Cardi B, including selling her home, emptying her bank accounts, and allegedly moving to Africa. Now, this is what the story is saying. I didn't say this. And she never moved to Africa. She has a husband who has family in Africa, and they have visited there. And as far as emptying her bank accounts, how do people know what she had in that bank account and which bank accounts that she actually had? But anyway, that's what the story says. And then it ends, do you ever think Cardi will get what's owed to her? And there was a person that commented and said she need that $4 million ASAP because her broke man ain't got no money. Remember Lil Nas X? Yep, just like him, her 5 seconds of fame is up. All right, that's what the commenter says. Listen, my thoughts on this is that I feel, they're doing their part because she filed for bankruptcy protection. That is something that they give the debtors a right to do, because when you list the debtors, they send that information to the debtors, or it's actually posted and notified, and it gives the debtors a certain amount of time to respond so that they can try to get in on this protection. But she, I feel, is spending so much more money trying to collect this money that ultimately she may not get even close to it. I don't know. I'm just sharing what I think and feel. And I believe that her attorneys are running her pockets to do all of this work, because ultimately, I've said this a long time ago, so this is nothing new. This is not me standing up for Tasha K or trying to tear down Cardi B, because I really do not, thank God, have a dog in this fight. I got my own issues to deal with in my own life and business and all that other stuff. So I'm not trying to get myself involved in anyone else's stuff, even if it's a family member, okay? But what I will say is this. I've said this before. When it comes to being in court, you have your winners and your losers, but who ultimately wins when you go to court, it's always going to be the attorney. Because one, you have to pay them their fees in order for them to represent you in court anyway. And anything that they're doing outside of that, they're clocking those hours. You better believe that that firm that is representing Cardi B, they are running Cardi B's pockets. So is she going to wind up spending close to, close to the $4 million that she's trying to collect in the judgment, just paying all of these attorneys' fees? I really would be interested to know how much she's paid the attorneys that she has representing her so far, because she didn't just have an attorney, she had a legal team. You already know that comes with some major dollars. So I just don't really think it's smart. We know that she's old. We know that she won a judgment, but it's just so much when it comes to this situation. And all I can do is look and speculate just like everyone else. But I, again, will say, I really feel like the attorney that was representing Tasha K she probably should have gotten a different attorney if she didn't. And that attorney should have filed an appeal on the amount of the judgment. Because if that was done, chances are they would have lowered the judgment amount, because based on what Cardi B has lost, it would have been almost the opposite, where they would have been pursuing Cardi B's finances to see, okay, what is it that you've actually lost compensation wise because of what was said? Because I am not going to lie. I actually do like Tasha K and her content. I'm not saying that I agree with everything that's said, but I don't agree with everything that any vlogger that I watch says. I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels. I started following Tasha K back in the day, many years ago. One of my clients, I should say, put me on to her because she was covering the R. Kelly stuff, like in the very beginning. And even before that, when she was talking about stuff with Steve Harvey and all that stuff. So I am saying all of that to say I can be unbiased just because I am liking someone's content or some things that they say. It doesn't mean that I agree 100% with everything that is said and done. But it would have almost been the opposite, where they would have been pursuing her to see how much is it that you've actually lost based on what was said about you, the videos that were put up about you. What did you actually lose? And in terms of her being depressed and things like that, we know she was also going through a lot of stuff with her husband too. And that has even come out recently, that they've been going through a lot of stuff. So was it Tasha K and what she said? Or were you deflecting and you were putting it on the vlogger because that was the easier thing to do? I'm just saying it could definitely be a question. And that's what I probably would have done if I were in her position. Get a different attorney, have them file an appeal based on the amount of the judgment, to appeal that amount, because she probably would have won that faster, or not even say faster. She probably would have won that versus filing an appeal based on the facts of the case. Because, yeah, I do agree. Cardi B did have the advantage going in there, being the celebrity, a lot of people knowing her, and then based on the content that they would show, because Tasha K is her personality in terms of her career, the messy vlogger, but that doesn't mean that she's a messy person overall. She's a wife, she's a mother to to 2 children. If you listen to a lot of her content, she does share a lot of things that are definitely intelligent. She's not just some stupid, messy, ghetto chick, but I believe that's how they tried to make her appear in court. And these people, not knowing who she is on this jury, they're comparing this person that's virtually an unknown to a lot of them to this celebrity who is crying, in court and talking about how this person hurt her feelings and made her feel. But did you gain more followers throughout the time? Did you lose anything money-wise? Those would have been real facts that would have been brought up that would have ultimately, in my personal opinion, brought the amount of the judgment down. Because $4 million altogether, compensatory and punitive, I get it. Punitive damages are supposed to be a punishment. But to that extent, I really feel that that was unbearable. And I believe that if it was done, then she ultimately would not have probably been filing for bankruptcy protection at all. So I just wanted to talk about that. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that Tasha K should have filed an appeal based on the amount of the judgment? And do you believe that Cardi B is spending more money than it's worth to try to collect this judgment? And those attorneys that she has is running her pockets to try to get her pockets filled from Tasha K and the amount that she owes her. Let me know your thoughts respectfully in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.